Hello. So this is our whirlpool tub or spa tub that has been unused since we moved in. And it's been unused because the actual piping on the sides of the tub inside this cover right here are actually leaking. So we're not using this tub, and we haven't used it in like 2 years, which is pretty ridiculous. So the goal today is to actually plug all the jets properly. And I pulled off the intake there. You can see and started cleaning it out a little bit. Plug that intake as well so that no water can actually get into the pumping system. Because these tubs are notorious for harboring tons of gross stuff inside those pipes, even if you clean them. So my wife wanted just wants a soaker tub, and that's what I'm going to turn this thing into. One of the drawbacks of these jets, and I'm pretty sure probably all these jets in these tubs, is they're spring loaded. So I've seen a lot of guys try and just plug them up when they can't remove the jet to do it in a different way. They try to plug them up with just plugging the actual jet nozzle, which is right here, this thing. Okay, so this thing moves around. Well, the problem is, if they don't plug behind this or on the sides of this, you see this? When I push this in, let me push it in because there's a lot of hard water in this place. See how there's a space? Water can get by there and can get into the system. This tub is actually leaking from the pipes. And it's leaking specifically from the jet pipes near the actual, I think it's one of the union connections near the back of the jets. So instead of pulling this all apart, because we are not going to use this as a jet tub again, I'm going to seal these jets up first. So before I actually get crazy and spray some spray foam into the pipes through the jet nozzles, I'm going to actually seal up this potential issue with being able to push these guys in first. Because if I put spray foam in there and then I let the spray foam harden, I won't be able to push this back to put caulk in front of it to seal up against the side surfaces of the actual jet housing. So I'm going to do that first, and I'm going to do one, and then I'll show you guys how I do it. Okay, now so you can see that I've actually caulked around the inside of the outside of the actual jet. Now I'm going to show you how I do it. It's going to be kind of interesting to hold this camera and do it to one of these jets. Okay. So you see, I can push this guy in. So since there's a lot of hard water in our area, sometimes I can actually get these guys in here and get them jammed in here, which is pretty cool. So I shove back this little O-ring, that nylon O-ring, it looks like slip ring of some type, in a little bit. So now the jet nozzle is actually jammed in there, and that's going to allow me to get a bead of caulk around the inside there. And I'll do that now. I've also, if you look at the tip of my gun here, my caulk tip. If you look at the tip of I've cut it really towards the tip, so I get a nice tiny little bead going in there. So I just stick it in there. It's really close so you guys can see. And I am just squirting silicone around in here. And when I'm done, I'm actually going to let this thing pop out. And it'll actually come in and try to seal up against that shoulder that I've created with all the silicone. It's kind of like sealing. I've done a lot of car work, so it's kind of like sealing up something on a motor, you know, basically. This will be a little bit of a pressure fit on this surface. So not perfect, but your bead doesn't have to be perfect either. I'm gonna disable my gun here so we're not squirting any more stuff out and wasting silicone there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna actually unpop this thing and see what happens. I'm gonna spread some of the silicone up around the top because it looks a little light there. I'll spread it around. So now let me unpop it. It'll pop out a little bit because it's spring loaded. I'm gonna put my finger in the hole and let it come out. There. So now it's actually pushed up against all that silicone in there and it shoved it out. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come around with my finger and carefully wipe it out. It wastes quite a little. Actually, I'm a little bummed that it's wasting so much silicone, but whatever. It's silicone. My wife's gonna be happy. Tub's gonna work when I'm done. So going in. All right, there we go. All right, so it's not perfect. I'll make it perfect because, you know, this is actually gonna be something that you're gonna see. This stuff that I am using right now is a clear silicone. I will probably end up, this stuff I'm using right now is a clear silicone, so it'll dry clear. I'll probably end up going in and filling in the actual jet nozzle completely with, after I spray foam inside the tube, of course, completely with, I have some almond color that'll match the jet. And then I'm gonna clean off this old silicone that was here, probably from a attempt to seal up these things, and put a bead of clear silicone around the edge here, and then wipe it with my fingers so it's nice and tight inside there. So basically water will not be able to get out of this, get into this jet or get out from around this little seal. There's a little crack in the seal here, I can see it. So I kind of figured out finally what I'm going to do to plug this. I found this plastic cap off of a, I think it was a brake cleaner or something like that in my garage. And it actually fits, believe it or not, the outer dimension of this pipe is pretty big, but this guy sits pretty good inside there, all the way inside here, inside the inner part. And I'm going to caulk the crap out of this thing and shove it in there, probably this way, so no water can sit inside the cap, which would be weird. Mold could grow in there because I don't want that to happen. So probably shove it in like this, covered with caulk around it once it's all the way inside there, and then probably put a couple layers of caulk in there around the edge of it, just so that there's not a ton of it in there. But this should hopefully work as a really good effective plug to plug this up. Before I do that though, it's getting filled with spray foam deep inside there. And then I will put this in there. And another cool thing is if I do have spray foam inside there, these thin edges will probably help me get it past any spray foam that decides to pump back up out of here. So should be good. Okay, so another part of this project, and you can see my awesome linoleum, really bad linoleum coming away from the surface of the tub, which is really, really gross, which will be caulked and fixed after this is done. But another part of this project is actually disconnecting the pump, because we never want the pump to run again anyways, because if I had my way, I'd just pull this tub out of here, but right now we just don't want to spend the money on removing this tub and buying a new one. So meaning any money other than what it costs to buy a couple cans of caulk and stuff. So to access a lot of these tubs, there's a front door on the front of this thing. You can see it's a little bump out on this one. And just put my hand out here, lift up, and it pull out, and it slides down. And you can actually see now into the side of the tub. And there's the motor back in there. So I've already gone downstairs and disconnected, turned off the breaker. So I'm going to get this thing out of the way. Let's get this out of the way. All right. Awesome. And you can see, now I can actually show you, this thing was leaking, like literally it was leaking from here, it was leaking from over there, it was leaking from back down in here, it was leaking from over there. So this thing has had it. I'm not dealing with these leaky pipes anymore. So since I've disconnected the electricity, now I'm going to disconnect the power running to this and cap off the electrical connection. So just in case water does get down in here, no one dies. Plus the breaker is going to be off forever downstairs. Maybe a good idea would be to probably remove the electrical connection from down here completely, but who knows, in the future we might need to run some kind of power over here for something. Maybe disco lights for the new bathtub later. All right. Okay, so I got the screws out. There they are. And I'm going to pull this cover off, see if I can do this with one hand. Let's get this off and see what's inside. I have no idea what's in here. This thing feels like it's watertight, maybe, or close to it. It's definitely a weather pack box of some type. And here's our wires inside. I'm going to test all these before I touch anything, because I don't want to die, because there might be a neutral running in through here, but I doubt it, because I have shut power off to this room. I'm going to disconnect the switch as well. Not right now, but let me pull all these wires out, see what I got going on in here, and just disconnect them so the pump can never run again. So here I've actually taped all the connections, leaving the nuts on, and I've taped the crap out of these things. I taped all the connections going to the motor and all the hot stuff coming into this. Potentially that could be hot by some crazy accident in the future. I taped those guys up. I have really nuts on the tips of those wires really tight, and then I taped the crap out of them and made sure I used some really strong automotive grade electrical tape. So you don't have to use that. You can just use the black stuff, the sticky black stuff, I'm sure. But I just want to make sure that in case there is a flood, because this actually does sit down in some kind of channel down here. You can see it kind of comes down. This is like the upper part underneath the tub, and it comes down. If this ever was to fill up with water, no water can actually reach those. There's not going to be any power going to them anyways, but just in case, no water can get into those wires. I'm going to seal this box back up, which seems to be a watertight box. Or close to it anyways. Okay, so as you can see, the spray foam is in every single one of these jets, and I was pretty crazy with it. You can see that is where I was standing. But you see how much of the stuff actually just is coming off the tip of the applicator and stuff like that. So it's a really good idea to cover the floor of whatever you're using this on, because this stuff is a pain in the butt to get off. You can use acetone on, I think, to get it off your hands or something like that, mineral spirits, whatever. While it's still wet, but once it cures, it's mechanical. So you got to get it off with some kind of mechanical means. I'm going to come back and wipe these off as they keep spewing out. And spewing out little Play-Doh Fun Factory goo. Day 2 here on the tub fixing this jet tub so that it actually is no longer a jet tub and isn't gross anymore. So something I found actually on the intake, this is the intake cover, which actually goes, if you look into the tub, it goes into this thing, which is now plugged with, there was that cap was in there, and I have plugged it with a bunch of silicone and just use my finger to smear it around there so I can't see the black cap anymore. And it's nicely tucked into all the little nooks and crannies and stuff in there. No water is ever getting in there again. Tack nails, I was able to actually tack down the linoleum without using glues or anything like that. And then just cover that all up with a nice wide, thick seam of caulk. So here we are. I've actually already taken a bath in this thing, but I'm going to fill it up so you guys can see that there are no leaks in this thing at all. So let's fill it up. And as you can see, it's holding water. What's really crazy is the actual pumping system is now basically pressurized. So it has foam in it, plus it's been sealed on the edges, on the edges of the system with silicone. So there's actually an air pocket in there, if you think about it. So as you can see, there's no leaking going on. Anything you do see that does look like leaking is old leaking, and stains on the fiberglass bottom of the tub. I've checked extensively all over the place and different spots to make sure nothing else is leaking on this tub. As far as I can tell, there is nothing leaking. Took a nice hot bath in here already, and it works great. And so does the what do you call it? The emergency drain thing. This thing. Yeah, pretty awesome. So it works. Thanks for watching.